Alright, this video is going to show you how to download the Mind's Eye dashboard and a brief overview of the buttons and configuration. So we want to go to mindseyeeducation.com, and then at the top here we're going to click on Programming. I'm going to scroll to the bottom. It says Mind's Eye Dashboard with the orange link. It's going to open up the GitHub page, and this will have the newest version at the top of our releases. So 1.8.3 tells you what's been changed, the contributors. So if you're running Windows, you want this dashboard setup.exe. If you're running Mac or Linux, you want the zip folder. Since I'm running Windows, I'll click on the Windows download. We'll save it to my desktop and then wait for it to download. Alright, once that's downloaded, we will open this up. We click more info, click run anyway. And then whether you want to or not create a shortcut to the desktop, we'll click next, click install. It's going to pop up with the drivers for the telemetry radios. We'll click extract. We'll click next, accept the agreement, click next, finish, and then launch Mind's Eye dashboard and finish. And then it will launch the dashboard. Now, it'll randomly launch in air or ground mode. So we'll click open the configuration panel, click toggle ground air mode. Changes will take effect next launch. We'll close this down and relaunch it. And now we are in ground mode. At the top here we have refresh. Refresh, we'll select our COM port, leave it at 57600, then we'll click connect. So I've got my vehicle on, plugged in, remote control on. So it'll tell me my battery voltage, 8.2 volts. If I move the remote control, it'll switch to driving mode as in manual mode. Driving mode is stopped. I can also go on this side here and we can click under telemetry, and then it pops up with our telemetry window, and this will tell us indoor, so my latitude and longitude nut's going to show up. Yaw, pitch, roll, ground speed. So as I start to increase the throttle, the ground speed will go up. Battery voltage, amperage, and then altitude is not going to show up on the ground vehicle. We won't get any of the GPS information showing up until we actually get a GPS lock outdoors. This is where we'll change all of our settings for things like line gravity. So this defines how strongly the rover should attempt to return to the original course between waypoints versus the direct path from its current location to the target. Or reverse speed, forward speed, minimum forward speed, maximum forward speed. Ping factor is how strong obstacles affect the rover's course. So as you get close to something, does it steer away from it? If you change the tires, you can change the tire diameter to match your tires. That way the speedometer is actually accurate. Steering center, so if when you're driving straight, it wants to wander or steer left or steer right, you can change this to adjust the trim to center your steering. Waypoint achieved radius and approach radius. So the approach radius is where it will get to that point and slow down to get to the waypoint. And the waypoint achieved is the radius of circle that it gets to achieve the waypoint and then goes to the next one. So each of these will have a minimum value, a maximum value, and a default value. You can also just click restore defaults and it'll change them all back to the default settings. So if you wanted to change the max forward speed from 2 to 3, you can 3 and hit enter and it will change it. And then if you click restore default, it's going to change it back to 2. So you can see that the settings reset. Under configuration, you'll have another pop-up. So we can set our home positions by typing in a latitude, longitude, and click set home. We can also cache the map tiles. So if we click this, it'll tell us, yes, it's going to take a couple minutes to complete. This is going to go through and save all of the cached maps based off of my home position. So what we can do with that as well is I can, on this screen, on the main screen, we can scroll over, and I like to click on the elevation button. It allows me to see the labels, the names. So we'll scroll into our location. And it takes it a minute to load all the map tiles the first time it does it. So this will be our location. You can also click set home and then click on the map where I want the home point to be set to. You can zoom in as well, and then back under configuration, since I have my home set, if I seed the tile cache, this is going to save all of the tiles that are around my home location, so then I don't have to actually wait for them to load, zooming in and out and scrolling. So you can use this as like an offline mode. And then in here as well is where we have our telemetry radio settings. So if I disconnect, I can refresh, select my COM port for my telemetry radio, I click connect. And this is where it will pop up with all of the information for the telemetry radios. The net ID is pretty much the only setting you'll want to change. They all come set to 25. And so what we want to do is we want to match them in pairs for every vehicle and change the numbers to, anything between like 1 and 200. So you have a set of that are 1, set at 2, set at 3, set at 4, set at 5. And that way they don't crosstalk or, block each other. So once the cache is done, it'll just switch to saying 100%, tell you this total storage. It's pretty much the basics of that. When you're on the page here, your first waypoint that you click sets a geofence. You can go back to the configuration here to change the radius of the geofence. Default is at 100-foot radius. So if you change that, click apply settings. It'll update that. And then you can place your waypoints inside of that radius wherever you want. You can click looping on or off if you want to. If you have looping on, it'll get to the last point, go back to the first point, and just keep going. Looping off, it's going to get to the end point and just stop there. You can also, at each point, set a speed. So let's say you want to go 2 miles an hour from that one. Go to the next one. You could say 1.5. And if you don't set a speed, it's just going to go back to your default minimum forward speed for each point that doesn't have a speed set. Once you have your missions laid out and set, you'll want to wait till your GPS quality gets a decent enough signal, and then you can click Start Mission. And then it's going to start that. I'm getting a warning saying unable to obtain satellite lock because I'm inside of a big concrete building. So then you can stop mission. You can also undo. So you can undo to change waypoints, or you can click clear waypoints to clear all the waypoints and start again. Switching between satellite and elevation, you can open up a graph, click configure, get another pop-up here. So let's say we want to go voltage, we'll make it red, amperage, we'll make it green. Close that. We can scroll into the map, make it bigger. So we can see we're at 8 point something volts. So you can have the graph out your voltage, amperage, all kinds of stuff. The event log will open up as a record of all of the settings and the states and the changes that you've made. So you can click on any of these things. You can port opened, waypoint command. So that's us clicking all the waypoints. Fail-safe settings, resetting stuff, start and stop mode. So just depends on what you're doing. You can see all of the background stuff that you've clicked on.